last broadcast, we had discussed the entire gamut of HR certification programs which are available across the world, which includes the SHRM certification program, HRCI certification program, ASTD certification program, HRPA certification program, CIPD certification program, and AHRI certification program. And as promised, we are coming back to you to discuss each of these certification programs individually and to give you entire detail of the certification program and how to go about to this certification program, how to crack it, and how effective this certification program at workplace and how it is going to benefit you as a HR professional in your career, both career progression and financially. Why you need SHRM certification programs? Well, if you are planning to migrate to US, or you are working in the US based companies, or if you are working in anywhere across the world, if you want to get yourself accredited with an international certification of repute, you can go for SHRM SCP and CP certification program. Framework of the certification program. The SHRM SCP and CP certification program is divided into two major competency cluster. Cluster 1 is called HR competency framework, which carries 50% of the marks, and second cluster is called technical competency cluster, which carries 50% of the marks. So HR competency framework comes in one book, and the technical competency comes in almost like a 3 set of books. The major cluster, which is called HR competency cluster. HR competency cluster has 3 subclusters. Cluster 1 is leadership subcluster, subcluster 2 is business subcluster, and subcluster 2 of HR competency is interpersonal subcluster. Now under leadership there are 2 subcomponents. One component is leadership and navigation, and second is ethical practices. Leadership and navigation means how you are navigating your organization inside and outside, and second is what kind of ethical practices you are practicing in your organization. Next subcluster is business subcluster. Business subcluster has 3 main components. One is business acumen. That means as a HR professional, what kind of a business knowledge you have in terms of your organization budget, P&L account, profitability, and how you are getting your ROI from your HR initiative. Second is called consultation subcomponent. Consultation means how you are designing your HR solution, how you are proposing it, and how you're working as an advisor to your various sub-functions in your organization. Third is called critical evaluation. Critical evaluation means how you are getting insight, what kind of a data analysis you are doing, what kind of a research you are doing in order before you are implementing any business solution. The third subcluster is interpersonal subcluster. It has got 3 components. One is relationship management, how you are managing your relationship within the organization and outside the organization. Second is global and cultural effectiveness, what kind of practices you are implementing at your workplace. And third is communication, that what kind of communication channels you have, how effective you are in communicating your HR solutions while delivering to your respective businesses. The next cluster of competency is technical competency cluster. It has got 3 components, subclusters basically. One subcluster is people subcluster, second is organization subcluster, and third is workplace subcluster. Let's talk about the people subcluster. It has got following components. One is strategic planning, that how you are designing strategy in your organization. Second is talent acquisition. It talks about what kind of a capability you must have while leading yourself as a talent acquisition professional. Employee engagement, it talks about what kind of initiatives are there in employee engagement and for the retention programs. Next is about the leadership development, that what kind of leadership programs you have in your organization, how you're engaging the leaders. And the last functional area, which is a subset in the people, is total rewards. What kind of a compensation design you have, which includes payroll, incentives, schemes, and the entire total reward. Under organization subcluster, we have following HR functional areas. One is structure of the HR function. That means what kind of a HR function you have. Do you want a shared service model? Do you want a functional model? Very different kind of models which you would need in order to make your HR function effective. Next is organization effectiveness and development. That means how you will make your organization effective through the effectiveness interventions and organizational development intervention, both design and development. Next sub-function is workforce management. What kind of a workforce management you are doing, what kind of a planning you are doing, what kind of a design you are making it for to manage the workforce in your organization. Next is employee and labor relation. That it basically is how you're managing the unions, what kind of a policy procedures are there, how you're managing them from the managing people to disciplining and up until separation. And the last is technology management. It talks about the various technology of from your human capital management technologies to your different kind of a technology which will make your HR effective for your. Under workplace subcluster of technical competency, we have following HR functional areas. Number one is HR in global context. It talks about what kind of a best practices you must be having in your organization as a part of your HR intervention. Next is component, which is a next functional area, is a diversity and inclusion. What kind of a diversity planning you're doing, what kind of inclusion initiatives you are driving it in your organization in order to make your organization, bring your organization to the international level. Next is risk management. What kind of a risk management and business continuity plan you have in your organization to safeguard both employee, organization, business, and your customers. And next, it talks about the corporate social responsibility initiatives. And last is about the US employment laws, which is not required for you if you're not giving the certification programs in US. So this is a nutshell all about the competency clusters, subclusters, and HR functional areas which are there as a part of SHRM BOCK, Body of Competency and Knowledge. In this broadcast, we learned completely in detail about the SHRM SCP and CP certification program, their component, subcomponent, eligibility criteria. Next broadcast, we will learn about the questions, the examinations, of how you will become a successful in cracking this certification program, and when you should give the program, what should be your study plan, how you should study, and what all are the various subcomponents you must take care in order to crack the certification program.